I'm looking at my notes. This is when I was asleep. God was talking to me in my sleep. I was asleep. And I wrote, he said this to me in a dream. He said, the Shiba, the $1, it's coming. He said, the Shiba, the $1, it's coming. Then he said, the more you see the money, the more you see how powerful it gets assigned to individuals. I'm going to say that again. He said, the more you see the money, the more you see how powerful it gets assigned to individuals. So God was saying that the more you see his people, right? We're going to start to see his people with the money, with the wealth transfer, and we're going to start to see what God's people are doing with this money, and we're going to see how powerful it is when God blesses his people, because we're not going to use it for evil things. Right now, the people who have most of the money in this world use it for wicked, nasty, defilement, abomination, wicked, nasty things. But when the tables turn, guys, God is saying, you're going to see how powerful it is when a child of God has resources in their hand. Things are going to start changing. Okay? That's what he told me. And he said the Shiba, the $1 is coming. I think the Lord is saying that Shiba will go to $1. He said the Shiba, the $1 is coming. And then he said this. He said bearish, to be bearish. And I'm like, what are you talking about, God? And I was like, does that even mean anything? Is that even a word, bearish? So then I Google bearish, and guys, when I Google bearish, it's a stock market term. So it's like bearish versus bullish. So people who are bullish in the stock market, they invest as if they know that the stock prices are about to rise. So they put a lot of money in it, right? Because they know that it's about to rise. But bearish is the opposite. Bearish means that they know that the stock market is about to fall, is about to decrease. So they're careful with what they're putting in it, right? So before I even looked up the word for bearish, right, he's saying this. He's saying, take my advice and run. He said, your investments will plummet. Guys, I'm like, God, why would you be telling me your investments will plummet? But then I looked up the word bearish, and that's what that meant. Remember I told you guys, in that dream, it was like, I saw it twice. It was like the Shiba skyrocketed high, right? But then it plummeted. It went completely down. But then it skyrocketed high, and then it plummeted. It went completely down. So I believe the Lord is saying, like, when it skyrockets and it gets to that point, to pull out, because it will go back down. Bearish. Guys, I did not know that that was even a word. I cannot make that up. And it's a stock market term. So the Lord was telling me to be bearish. Then I heard money changers. And that reminded me of when Jesus was in the temple and he flipped over the tables, right? And the Lord, I believe the Lord is saying that he's about to flip over the tables of the money changers, the people using the money to do wicked things. Then I heard a guy, okay? And this guy, he sounded like he was from India. He had an Indian accent. And he was saying, I do believe what God was talking about was the wealth transfer. And then he said something to do with China. So there was an Indian guy in an Indian accent, and he said, I do believe what God was talking about was the wealth transfer. And something, I forgot what was in between it, but something about China. Okay? Then I heard the supply chain and the network. Guess what the something is still okay. I guess that something is still okay. So something with the supply chain and network. Remember, guys, I was hearing a lot, and I'm trying to remember what I was hearing. Okay, this is important, guys. Listen up. This guy had told me this a few times. He kept bringing this to my mind, and he said it again. He said Ethereum. Ethereum is a well-known coin, right? And I'm just like, he said it so loud and clear, Ethereum. Then he said, weather the storm. The storm is coming, guys. He said, knowledge and gain. He said, a beacon of light, a beacon of hope. I come to rattle you in my ways of glory. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead because with that Ethereum, this is what he told me. He said, Ethereum gold and classics. I said, Ethereum gold and classics? I said, God, why are you saying Ethereum gold? So I looked it up, guys. There's a coin called Ethereum gold. I didn't know that. There's a coin called Ethereum gold. I knew about ETC, I believe that is Ethereum classics, but he said Ethereum gold and classics. Guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only telling you what God said. I can't make this up. I didn't know this stuff existed. So I would I would pray about Ethereum gold, that coin, and Ethereum classic. Then he says, wow, guys, this was interesting, which I still didn't really look up who this guy was. But he said, the release of witchcraft, Charles Schwab. He said, the release of witchcraft, Charles Schwab. Then I heard, the power will go out before we know the truth. The power will go out before we know the truth. And guys, that just lines up with what everyone has been hearing from the Lord, that the wealth transfer will happen when the power goes out. Yes, so the Lord is wanting me to share. I completely forgot about that. Thank you, Holy Spirit. All night long, I was dreaming about Shiba. After this, right, after I completely fell asleep, all night long, I was dreaming about this. And he was making it a point all night long to tell me to keep my coins on that Nano X ledger. I don't know why. All night long, he was confirming to keep the coins on the Nano X ledger. Oh, yes, Holy Spirit, that's why you wanted me to look at this. Okay, so August 30th, God had given me a few words, right? In the words, he told me cyber attack. He told me flooding in the east. Flooding in the east. So, like, all the east will be flooded. There's going to be flooding in the east, guys. And then he told me something big will happen in November. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for bringing that to my remembrance.